Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Writer's Canvas, where we break down tips and tricks to help make your writing immersive and engaging. Today, we're unraveling one of the most slippery, misunderstood, yet absolutely essential parts of writing: voice and style. You've probably heard those terms tossed around like glitter, but what do they really mean? Are they the same thing? Spoiler alert, they're not. But they do dance together, and knowing the steps can take your writing from technically fine to soul-shakingly unforgettable. So let's crack this open, shall we? Let's start with voice. If writing were a human being, voice is the personality you hear when the story speaks. It's how the story would sound if it could sit across from you at a coffee shop and tell you everything. Voice is the soul of the story. It's not what's said, but how it's said. It's rhythm, quirks, honesty. It's sarcasm or sincerity, breathlessness or calm. Voice is the reason we fall in love with a narrator before we even know what they want. Voice isn't just found in first-person narratives, though it's often easier to identify there. Third-person stories still pulse with a voice, sometimes playful, sometimes detached, sometimes aching with something the character never says aloud. Think of Lemony Snicket, where the narrator's voice is practically a character in and of itself, or Terry Pratchett, whose omniscient narration still carries wit, warmth, razor-sharp commentary. That's voice. It's the author's fingerprints on the glass. Voice comes from you, the writer. It's built from the sum of everything you've ever experienced, believed in, read, loved, hated, cried over, or screamed into a pillow. Your voice is shaped by your obsessions, your viewpoints, your wounds, your sense of humor, your attention to rhythm, syntax, and pacing, your metaphors and phrasing. It can't be copied because it's yours. And the more you write, the louder and clearer it becomes. Then we have style. While it's connected, style is the outfit the voice is wearing. It's the craftsmanship, the aesthetic, the technical expression of voice. Where voice is the soul, style is the form. It's the sentence structure, the vocabulary, the tone. Style is how you build your paragraphs. Do you write in long, dreamy rivers of thought, or in sharp, punchy bursts? Do you lean poetic or sparse? Do you twist syntax into new shapes, or keep them clean and clear? Style is something that can change depending on the project. It's adaptable, deliberate, and often chosen based on what the story needs. You might write one story in lush lyrical prose because it's about dreams and memory and ghosts, then turn around and write something spare and gritty for a story about war and silence and survival. Your voice is still present in both. It's the soul under the skin. But the style shifts to serve the tale. Think of it like this. You, as a person, might dress differently for a job interview, a costume party, and a lazy Sunday afternoon, but you're still you under it all. That's voice. The outfit? That's style. They work together. They need each other. A powerful voice with an ill-suited style might feel jarring. A gorgeous style with no voice behind it can feel hollow, pretty, but forgettable. Now, here's the magic of knowing the difference between the two. It helps you grow. As a writer, if you can separate voice from style, you can start to fine-tune both. You can experiment more deliberately. You could try writing a story in completely different style while letting your voice shine through. You can give each character their own way of speaking, layered under your ethereal tone. If you can look at a piece and say, this doesn't sound like me, why not? Or this style is too flowery for the tone I need, you gain control. And in writing, control is freedom. So how do you find your voice? That's the big question, right? And the truth is, you already have it. You just have to trust it. Finding your voice is less about discovery and more about removal, stripping away the layers of imitation, the fear, the shoulds you pick up from school or that one person who told you your writing was too weird. It's about writing often, honestly, and messily, Voice reveals itself when you stop trying to sound like someone else and start writing like you're whispering a secret to your best friend, or shouting a warning across the battlefield, or telling a bedtime story to a kid who wants to believe in magic again. And style? Style is the part you get to study, borrow, remix. You can analyze how your favorite authors pace a scene or use repetition for emotional impact. You can practice writing sentences like Hemingway, short and punchy, or like Faulkner, long and winding and hypnotic. You can write flash fiction in poetic fragments or novellas in journal entries. Style is your writing toolbox, and every project teaches you how to use the tools in new ways. So, why does this matter? Knowing your voice and developing your style makes your writing stronger because readers don't just come for plot, they come for you, your point of view, your way of seeing the world. They come for the flavor only you can add to a sentence. Two authors could write the same story, beat for beat, and still produce wildly different pieces because their voices and style shape the journey. Voice makes a story personal. It makes the reader feel like they're being guided by someone who knows the terrain, someone worth following. Style, meanwhile, is the scaffolding that makes the story readable, enjoyable, and tailored to its themes. Great voice pulls readers in. Great style keeps them there. Let's put it in story terms. Imagine you're reading a tale about a haunted forest. One version is told in rich, mythic language, poetic and ancient feeling. The style supports a sense of awe and dread. The voice, maybe, is a cautious, reverent observer who feels the weight of every footstep. Now imagine the same story told with dry humor and modern slang. The voice is sarcastic, skeptical, but still totally freaked out. The style's fast-paced, clipped, full of voicey asides. Same story beats, very different experiences. Both are valid. Both are compelling. Because what matters is the cohesion between voice, style, and story. It's the heart of the craft. That's when the words disappear and the feelings take over. When you're not just reading, but you're a part of the story itself. That said, here are some gentle do's and don'ts to keep in your writing toolbox as you explore each. When it comes to voice, do embrace your natural rhythm. Lean into the way you think, the words you gravitate towards, the metaphors that rise up when you're not overthinking. Do write with honesty, even if your story is full of dragons or robots. Readers can sniff out truth beneath the fiction. Do protect your weirdness. That offbeat way you describe a feeling or a moment is gold, not something to be scrubbed away. Don't try to mimic someone else's voice just because they're successful or celebrated. It might read fine, but it will never hum with the same electricity as your own. Don't censor your tone to be more palpable unless the story demands it. Polished doesn't mean personality free. And don't worry if your voice isn't loud yet. That comes with time, like music rising from a violin the more it's played. As for style, do study different forms. Read widely, take notes of sentence structures that move you, and experiment often. Do match your style to the soul of the story. Do edit with intention. Ask yourself not just, does this sound good, but does this serve the story? Don't overcomplicate the style just to sound smart. Clarity is always more powerful than showing off. Don't lock yourself into one static box, even if you're really good at it. Growth happens at the edges of discomfort. And don't forget that style can evolve. That flexibility is not inconsistency, it's mastery. Voice is your identity, style is your adaptability, and when the two are in sync, something electric happens on the page. As a little challenge for you, look back at something you've written that you really like. Not necessarily the most polished piece, but the one that feels the most you. Reread it. Can you hear your voice in it? What kind of style did you use? Were your sentences dreamy, gritty, funny, furious? Try writing the same scene in a totally different style and see how your voice adapts. What stays the same? What transforms? This is where writing gets exciting. This is where you get to stretch your creative muscles, where you get curious, where you shed the rules you thought were set in stone and start sculpting with rhythm and risk. Because once you understand your voice and can play with your style, you don't just write stories, you design experiences. You craft moods. You shape the emotional arc between the plot. And that's the magic readers remember. So dig into your weird, your honest, your unmistakably you. Let your voice ring clear. Let your style shift like costume changes on a live stage. And most of all, have fun with it. That's how we grow. And that's a wrap on this episode of The Writer's Canvas. If you had fun or learned something new, don't forget to tap that like button, share it with your fellow wordsmiths, and hit subscribe to keep the inspiration rolling. Got a topic you're dying to see covered? Drop it in the comments below. I'm always up for a good writing challenge. Want to keep the conversation going and hang out with me and some other amazing writers? Come join the community Discord. Or, if you want to support the channel and grab some exclusive writing content, check out my Ko-fi. All the links are in the description below. Until next time, keep creating, keep dreaming, and keep telling stories only you can tell. Happy writing!